Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Angie and it's nice to have you guys here. I'm really excited to finally be filming this video. I've been working on this for about a month now, actually a little over a month. I did the bulk of the work in that week between Christmas and New Year's. And it's not done. There's still work that I'm doing, but I've decided it is done enough to go ahead and finally film my office tour video. I have been wanting to share my workspace for a while, but I've never really had a workspace that I really loved. I was always kind of changing it and adjusting it. I feel like I finally have it at a place where I really do love it and I'm ready to share it. I'm gonna get into it, but there is some backstory. So I've been living in this apartment for almost 5 years now. I moved in right before I started my PhD program, and it took me ages to really get settled in, and I never really had a workspace that I liked. As a grad student, I really needed an actual office, but it's a one-bedroom apartment. So in the beginning, I had taken over this wall with this giant window, which I'll show you better in a minute. I'd taken this whole wall and had two desks, two worktops pushed up against the window. One was my desk where I was supposed to work, and the other was supposed to be a craft table. Yeah, I don't have time for crafts as a PhD student. It was kind of wasted space. That whole desk area just kept being a catch-all for random stuff and clutter. I had more than I needed. It didn't have a proper home, and it just wasn't functional. I also at the time had a dining table with 4 chairs, but I never do formal entertaining. If I have friends over, we just eat pizza from a plate on our lap while we watch a movie. So it didn't really, my lifestyle just doesn't really need an actual dining table. So back during my comps prep, so back like February, March, I commandeered my dining table and I turned it into a second desk. For a while that lived in the middle of the room. The way my apartment is set up is there's kind of a living room, and then this area here that's now my office is supposed to be the dining area with the kitchen behind me. So I kind of kept the dining table in the middle of the room in the dining area that I had tried to have for 3 years, almost 4 years, and instead was just using it as kind of a floating desk in the middle of the room. And I liked being able to see out this window, but I hated looking at the mess that was in front of this window. So I eventually moved that desk over in front of my patio door, which was nice because I could get the sunlight, I could have the window open during the cooler months, the sliding door open during the cooler months, and it was a much nicer area. As we got towards Christmas, I just started thinking I wanted to really redo this area and just give up any remnants of, a craft table, a dining area, and just really completely take over this area. Getting to kind of the reveal, I want to show you some before pictures because I did do that. Before, as you can see, was an absolute disaster. You guys have always seen the side of my apartment with the bookshelves behind me because that is what has always looked nice. And now you can kind of see why. I never turned the camera in the other direction because I never wanted anyone to see just how messy and how cluttered and how unfunctional and unusable this area was, and how much it was spilling in towards and encroaching the other usable areas of my apartment. So I took that week between Christmas and New Year's and just pulled everything that was in this section over to the other half of the living area so that I had a mostly empty workspace. I didn't completely move the furniture out, but I did clear everything off of the furniture and all the little bits out of this area so that I could have room to move the furniture around. So that took me a while I think I got through placing the furniture in its new position on that first day. By the end of that first day, my back was dying. I was exhausted, and it just felt like, oh crap, what have I done? This is way bigger than I thought it would be. I was very naive, thinking I could get everything moved around and put things away in one day. When you pull things out of drawers and shelves and little nooks and crannies where you've stuffed things, you realize how much stuff you actually have. So I could hardly move through my apartment. So goal number one for that first day was just getting the furniture in its new place and having at least enough room that I could walk from my kitchen to my bedroom, and there was no way I was going to be able to sit and watch TV out in my living area for a few days. It took me a while, but I sorted through a ton of boxes. I've also put together several bags to go to Goodwill and a ton, like 4 or 5 large trash bags worth of just rubbish and trash that needed to be taken out. I've made a lot of progress, and now I'm ready to show you the afters. So I'm going to show you the before one more time and then show you the after. Okay, so as you can see, it's quite a bit different. That table used to be in front of this window sliding door. So I've now moved the desks and the workspaces into this area, and it's now, you know, an actual office. If I had a barrier or a partition here, you know, it'd be its own enclosed space. And what I've put in its place here, in place of the desk, is this side table from IKEA and an old IKEA chair that I already had, but just it was crammed in the back corner and I could never sit in it, and it always had stuff on it. And now I've got the map pillow that I got for Christmas and this tapestry pillow that I bought at the Museum of London. I've got a little footstool here. I've got a basket underneath that right now has a blanket in it. And then when it comes to the table itself, I've just kind of decorated it with just some things that make me happy. I've got a new candle that I got from Costco, and this is a mulberry and cedarwood scent. I absolutely love it. I love the blue and gold theme that I've got going on here. We've got 2 little fake succulents from the Target dollar spot. Those were $1 each. I've got my new squirrel lamp, which I absolutely love, and this kind of navy blue shade. I got him from Cost Plus World Market. I've also got some books. My little book of Hygge, The Danish Art of Happiness. Hygge is definitely a theme throughout here. Everything in my new office is about small pleasures, simple joys, coziness, comfort, things that make me want to be in this space and do my work. I also have a book on St. Paul's Cathedral and London living style, a kind of home interiors book. And then I also have this little ceramic pot that I've got a lip balm, some hand lotion, and then a pen, a pencil, a little eraser, page flags, and a highlighter. So if I sit down in this chair to do some work and some reading and I forget any of those, all of those kind of reading essentials are there and have their own home. So that's this little cozy reading nook area. Then we get into the office itself. So this was the old craft table, and I have kept some of my craft stuff. So I allowed myself to keep what would fit underneath this table. On top here, I keep my handbag. It's just nice to be able to come in and drop this here and unpack my laptop or my bullet journal or whatever I've been carrying with me. Behind here, I'm keeping books that I have been using for my dissertation, so ones that I don't want to keep on my bookshelves over there. So any books that I don't want to keep over here that I want to keep closer, I now keep over here. So I've got those books. I've got my printer. I need to put in my new ink. I also keep my Olympus pen charger, battery charger, stuck in here. And then I've got a internet password stuff. I kind of got this idea on Pinterest, so it just says, welcome, make your device feel at home on my Wi-Fi. So when friends come over, they can just connect to my Wi-Fi and not have to use their data. Both desks have their own lamp. I've got a small external monitor for when I'm working over here. I haven't been working on this side as much. I have a feeling that this is going to be dissertation central, and this is going to be life admin and teaching stuff. So I can keep my teaching binder here when I start teaching in a few weeks and do my grading, and I can use this monitor to watch YouTube videos and stuff while I'm grading on my laptop. So in terms of the decorations, I'm not going to go through everything or that will be here forever. I've got my little TARDIS, I've got an old London candle, I've got a squirrel, squirrels are all over, I've got some fake flowers, some pictures of some of my friends' kids. I've got blank journals and notebooks here, and then a few kind of standard references, and some files here, another squirrel, and then some other fun little bits and bobs and pictures and things that just make me happy. This is a poster frame, but I'm using it as kind of a desk cover, and it's a giant illustrated map of Oxford. I like working at this table and seeing Christchurch Meadow, where I love to walk, and on Queen Street, this building right here is where I stayed the first summer that I lived there, and then my second place was up this road. And then underneath, I've got two more file boxes, papers that I'm keeping. I've got my extra laptop and tablet sleeves and pads, and then my camera and laptop equipment. Then we've got the windowsill, which I am loving having this window to work in front of. I've got a dry erase board that I can prop up onto the windowsill, either landscape or portrait, and use that. My extra markers and eraser, and then just some little pictures and decorations and candles and fun stuff. This is an interchangeable art display, so I can swap out which ones, and then that's my little letter board from Target Dollar Spot. The nice thing about the way this is set up is by having the desks directly opposite each other, I can be working at one desk and then just swivel 180 degrees, and I'm at the other desk. Under here, I don't have a whole lot. I'm still kind of playing with this. I'm also trying to keep it relatively clean because it is kind of nice. I've got a little fan for when it's hotter. I can pull that out and just have air flowing down here. This is kind of a footstool. I've got a little pad there, a little pillow, so I can prop my feet up, but then there's a shelf up above that I can store stuff on. I keep a little basket with a thermocare, some socks, some fuzzy socks, and a heat pad, and then an extra pair of slippers. So if I get out here and I've got bare feet, I'm wearing my panda slippers now, but if I get cold and my feet need to be warmed up, I've got slippers or fuzzy socks And if my back starts to hurt sitting here, I can either put on a thermocare or just use the heating pad. And then I'm still working on this, but this is all my bullet journal stuff. So my extra pens, all my stickers, washi tape, stuff like that. And then my file cabinet, which I've decorated with some of my magnets. And then up above here, I've got my book stand, which I can use as a book stand. Right now it's propping up my work calendar, so I'm crossing off the days as I go. I'm a few days behind. And then I've got some more books back here. These are more of my primary resources. So I've got a nice window here, which is really nice when I'm sitting and I can see my little Glastonbury tour decal, which is fun. I've got an external monitor here, a nice big giant one, so that's really nice because I can have a few documents open on that while I'm working on my laptop. I've got a few different pencil jars. My iPhone on my iPhone stand. This is the monitor plug-in for my laptop. I've got another little box bullet journal stuff, so more highlighters, washi tapes, and things like that. And then this little tray keeps these are for on the keyboard for your wrists, and then my compression sleeves for my wrists if my wrists start to really hurt, and then just some extra little notepads and a screen wipe. Some more files, my old bullet journals and other journals that I use, a little clipboard with a motivational print, one of my London calendars. Another perk of being right by the window here is at about 5 o'clock, I can see as my neighbors start coming home, and so that's a good visual signal to me that it's time to stop working. Directly in front of me, I've got my little quote book from Tamsin, extra business cards. I've got my little tray with my Caudalie facial spray, Excedrin if I get a headache, a hair bobble if I need something and I've not got one on my wrist, hand sanitizer, hand lotion, nail clippers, basically anything I could need to just keep me comfortable. I've also got my writer's block chocolate bar from the Bodleian. I haven't needed to break into that yet. I've got a bunch of pictures of London and Oxford throughout, and then a jar of post-it notes of all different sizes behind my London snow globe. I've got my Ted Baker lip balm, greeting card of London is where my heart is. This was supposed to be a iPhone or tablet stand, and it's been taken over as an art stand. And then I also usually have at the desk here on either side of me my productivity planner and my bullet journal. So those are there. Laptop takes pride of place. Underneath the laptop, this plastic cover is from IKEA. This was only a few dollars. I've had this for a while and I absolutely love it. It lets me kind of layer things underneath. So I've got some postcards and little pictures underneath, and then this is also a Ted Baker wrapping paper that I've put underneath. And if you're new to the channel and wondering why I have William and Kate decorating my desk, it's because Catherine is one of my research subjects. It's also partly why I've got James Bond decorating my desk, because that was, well, Bond girls were part of my master's thesis project. So there you have it. That's my office. I absolutely love it. I love having all the little things that decorate the space, and it's now a space that I actually want to come into, and I want to work here, and I'm able to stay and work at this space for a lot longer each day than I used to. It's definitely not a minimal approach. I like having lots of little things around. I don't mind clutter and chaos if it's intentional, if that makes sense. I definitely feel like I have a space that is comfortable, functional, and just makes me happy. And that definitely makes me able to be more productive. Yeah, I've been rambling long enough, and this video is now really, really long. If you have any questions about where something is from that I didn't mention, let me know, and I will see you all again soon in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.